And we are recording. Hold on. We gotta start our some music.
Yes.
Let's see. Hold on.
Right up on the couch with the crazy it don't face.
Ayo.
Yippee okay. If you ain't got no giddy up,
Then get out my way.
I'm gonna take my
I'm telling you, this song has been stuck in my head. Like I did not like the first version or whatever. I was like, all right, it's cool. Billy Ray got on it. And I was like, oh, that's his part was kind of fire. And then they put this one out. I've been listening to. I'm ashamed of myself, but I've been listening the heck out of this doggone song, man. Especially when he hit me with that part, I was like, "Get out my way!" I was like,
He's like, I'll rock this one.
I was like, "Yeah, I'll rock
this my
one."
jam.
Yeah, I put that on Instagram. I was rocking to it like, "Yo, let's go!" But nah, yeah. All right, welcome to another edition.
Welcome.
Of CTE Chris and Travis Experience. How you been, Chris?
And it's been a good one. It's been a good weekend. How about yourself, sir?
You know what? I'm gonna talk about that weekend because I asked you to come through to play poker.
Yeah, and I didn't.
Yeah, you didn't. But so I ended up getting into a huge argument with one of my boys about it.
Oh no.
Yeah, man, because like he like we started doing this like it had to be like 3 years ago, like 2016. We started doing this. And he won like the first couple times,
right?
And I haven't won yet.
Oh,
so
no.
He's like a big junk. He started talking.
Oh, yeah,
he's just singling me out.
Yeah.
But he hasn't won since like the first couple times we've done it. So I'm like, yo, you even talking junk? So this time I'm killing everybody. I'm crushing it, right?
Yes.
I got the big pile in front of me.
Yes.
And so starts getting a little bit later. So he starts to try. He's out. I put him out. Early, so he's gone. Yeah. So he's the all-time dealer at this point.
Oh, so I know he's talking about.
Yeah, so he's talking junk. I'm like, yo, you out, man. What are you doing? And so he starts like, oh, we're gonna raise the blind. He starts raising the blind really quick. Yeah. So we went from like, we was at like, I think it was at 2010. Then we was 30-15. Then we was at 60-30, and then he was like, let's do 100 to 50. I'm like, dude, we only got 1,000 points of chips on the table. Right. Like doing 150. I mean, with 3 people left. I mean, if everybody played, that's 300, man. That's over 10% of. I mean, that's over 30% of the pot, right, man. You basically just trying to get this game over so you can go home. You can just go home. So we got into this huge argument and stuff like that. But I mean, it was what it was. And he got me off my game.
He messed you up. He cost you the game.
Man. He got me off my game, man. I ended up losing, man.
You let him do that too.
Yeah, man. So it was what it was. It was the first time.
You should have came in Sunday and punched him in the head.
It was the first time. Jermon was first person out.
I know.
Jermon was first out. Like it's just Jermon was first out.
He told me Sunday. That's what I'm saying. Like I seen him. He was like, "Hey." I was like, yeah, man. I was like, I feel bad. I was supposed to go to Trav. So I was like, man, the family and the kids and the meeting ran late. And we was, it just didn't work out. He was like, oh yeah, I know I was there. I was like, oh yeah, how'd you do it? He was like, I was out first. I was like, you ain't buy back in? He's like, nah.
It was over. So he was over. He
was like, I was playing so aggressive. I didn't like the way ridiculous. I was out so fast. He was like, I didn't want to do something.
Yeah,
stupid,
he was doing stuff.
Money.
We were looking at him like, dude, I don't even know why you jumping out here like that. Like you wilding, like, and it was gone.
Yeah, he thought, okay, fold. Okay, fold. Okay,
so like
fold.
3 of the guys
take some pots.
3 of the guys are very aggressive in how they play. Okay. And then me and one other guy. I usually kind of like use more strategy and stuff like that. Everybody else is more like like trying to buy the pot every three hands. Like, dude, like, but sometimes they got something, so it's really you really gotta be paying.
You gotta gauge and pay attention.
Yeah. So this time I was killing too. I was like, yes. And then all of a sudden they started going, but they kept buying back in. So when everybody else got bought out. Okay. So when everybody else got bought in, the pot kept getting a little bit higher. So because they got higher, it gave them more chips to try and battle against me, basically, because I had like,
because you was big chips.
Yeah, I was ahead of everybody, crushing everybody. Everybody else lost except for me until the end.
Oh, okay.
And so it was like you could buy back in. I'm like, dude, he got like
10,000 chips.
Yeah, chips. Like
what you want me to do?
I'm buying to get like 100 chips to try and come, and we doing 150 to do the buy-in. I'm basically going all in on one hand. Like, what's the point?
I'm good on this one.
Yeah. So I was like, all right, whatever. So he was a new guy. And he ended up throwing me like my entry back, and I was like, all right, cool, whatever. So for hosting, he's like, it's for hosting. I was like, all right, because it was heated arguments, and it got heated. And I was like, and it usually doesn't. It's just
furniture was almost moved.
Yeah. It just was what it was, and it was like, all right, man, it is what it is. But it was still fun times, man. Awesome. I ain't gonna I'm not holding no grudges, nothing like that. It's just fun times.
Next time, I'm slapping you and I'm taking your money.
Yeah, you should have been there, man.
I know. That's my fault. I let dojo business interrupt personal business.
Oh yeah. You was out Outback Steakhouse or something.
No, Taco Mac, man.
Oh my,
I ain't got Outback money every weekend, bro.
So, Taco Mac,
right?
Yeah. But how was your weekend?
Man, my weekend was good. Did an event with our dojos. All the kids came over and we ran a combination and a sparring seminar for the kids and trying to prepare them for next weekend's test. Family time was great. What else happened? Nope, that was it.
Yeah.
That was really it. Because Sunday, like, man, listen, we came in, we sparred on Sunday.
Yeah.
It was a good but small group. And
I did not come in and spar on Sunday. I'm retired people. I'm chilling.
He said, nah.
Somebody needs some services for coaching or something like that, then yes, I'll do that. But I'm not.
He said no, thank you.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
Well, every once in a while, we're gonna coax you back in. You know, you're gonna have to work out. Once in a while. You're gonna have to shake. You have to shake those rust off. Just come on and do a Tuesday or a Sunday workout. And then,
I'm gonna have an itch to just jump out there and be the old dude trying to get youngsters. But then I'm like, I'm good. I'm gonna do the old man thing where you fight 3 rounds and sit out. In a few years,
we gotta find a 50-year-old and we can do 30, 40s, and 50s on the teams.
Honestly,
that's $1,000.
Yeah, I hit 40 next year, so
well, that's $1,000, bro. We find a 50.
They doing $1,000 for that?
They were. I know when a bunch because they had the outside sponsor. It was like the year at the battle that I did. It was $1,500.
Oh, okay,
right?
Yeah,
I do 30 and over teams for $1,500.
Yeah, I would too. Yeah, right. 30, 40, 50. Yeah. Man, I can do that easily.
Yes, all day. But yeah, no, I don't know. I don't really know because that's one of those divisions. Oh, yeah, they just started the page out and disclose the pay. Did you see all that?
Yeah, I did see that. They put it out, but a lot of the stuff that stayed open.
Well, only the team stuff says open.
Yeah, all the team stuff.
Traditional challenges, extra divisions, open weights, team fighting, men's and women's team fighting. Whenever they do anything extra, the international team sparring.
But I think that's what they wanted. I think they wanted the team and open stuff. I think that's what they wanted the payouts to know what the payouts were.
Oh, absolutely. That is definitely the argument. Because I mean, when you think about it, if you're only giving out $300 for open weight, or you're not giving nothing for open weight, versus a tournament that's giving out $1,500 or $2,000 for open weight because you've seen it, and $1,000 for open and division, and then they're doing at least $900 for teams, versus a tournament that you don't know what they're doing for open, if they're doing anything. You don't know what they're doing for teams. It's going to be a minimum, but it's probably going to be like $300 to $500 at the low end, maybe $900 to $1,000 at the top end. So you're guessing. That determines what events you go to. I mean, when 100%. You think, open weight and for a lot of the major teams, definitely teams.
Yeah, I mean,
we talked about it a couple times ago. There was a protest about team money a few different times because of said money, or you're doing what? How much are you giving? Nah, you're crazy. $300 for teams. You charge every team $150 to compete. Are you kidding me?
And then you just turn around and get $300.
Yeah, right. If it's gonna be open, then let it be the division. Let it be the entry of the division.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario,
or just do a 50-50. I mean, because we all know that you don't get money off of the black belt. You get money.
Off the kids.
Yeah, off the kids.
It's the kids and the kids' parents who come to watch them.
Exactly. Not the black belt. So, no. I mean, you get money off of us, but you don't get
not as much.
Your main source of revenue for your tournament is the underbelts.
Yes,
and the
always.
kids.
Yes.
So, yeah.
That's for my weekend. I didn't really do all that much.
So did you watch? I mean, I didn't see anybody posting too many videos for Hit. I saw the nighttime final.
Stream. There was a live stream for the nighttime finals. I peeped some of that. I watched.
Yeah, I went straight to the end for the most part.
Yeah, I
watched Hope fight Jasmine. Yeah.
And then Brian and Zayn.
The one thing I didn't like about the Hope versus Jasmine fight was that the camera was set up static, And so the whole thing just kept being all the action.
Everything was off to the center, off to the left. Yeah. You couldn't really see all that.
Yeah.
I like either if you're gonna be that close, got to have like a mobile camera or somebody who's willing to watch and participate, or back it up so you can
see the whole stage.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, John, just the front. But yeah, so that was a little So whoever shot that, just make sure y'all back up next time so y'all can
follow, back up or follow. Yeah, either way.
Yeah, either one. The Brian and Zayn, did I say it right?
Yes.
There we go.
Correcto.
Yeah. Brian and Zayn fight was a good fight.
Yes.
It was an interesting fight. It was an entertaining fight. And the thoughts I had on it were the simple fact that Brian, there's a few different things. One, Brian is at that point where he knows he's better. He has the confidence, and so he doesn't take his opponent as serious, as serious, but like he's like, all right, I know I'm gonna win, so I don't have to push. I don't have to make it hard. I don't have to like really work. And sometimes when you do that, you end up in fights that you
shouldn't be.
Yeah, you shouldn't be. It shouldn't be that close.
Lost. You shouldn't have.
Right.
But you allowed that because your mental game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Correct.
That's.
I agree.
The other thing was, it was interesting. I think Zayn. I think Zayn. He started off super fast and he was hyped up, and that second round started to get him, and he started to back up a little bit more, and he was second guessing. He started second guessing some of the things he was going to throw, and that half a second cost him a couple of different points.
A lot of those clash body punches. A lot of those clash.
Yeah, I think a couple of the defensive sidekicks kind of slowed him down. I'm not gonna say it hurt him, but it made him second guess.
Be cautious of what he was gonna do next. Yeah. You saw that.
Yeah.
I agree with the coming out of so hard out of the gate. But everybody got their own game.
What did you think about the fight?
I kind of felt the same way. I thought Brian capitalized in the right moments. He did the right things to stay ahead and to keep it that way, but didn't do what he should have done because it shouldn't have been that close. When we previewed it, I was rocking with my man Zayn, but size-wise, length-wise, style-wise, Brian should have had that by a good 3 or 4 points, easy. Zayn made it interesting because he's got such a leg and he does come hard with it. He's working a lot with his hands and trying to add things to it, but he went too hard. Didn't work. Then got caught, slowed down, and then kind of had a frantic pace towards the end where a cooler head, a little bit more relaxed, a little bit more conditioning probably would have scored the last 2 points from our angle. I don't know if that side kick was right or not. The one right before the clash, because there was a side kick, and then right after that they challenged, and then from the angle it looked like definitely Brian had that underneath body. I don't know where Zayn had on the other side, but there was definitely those last 2 clashes. But with a little bit more composure and a little bit more conditioning, I think probably would have changed his mindset.
Yeah,
and then
one of the things,
like you said, running into a couple of them sidekicks.
Slow him down.
Changes.
One of the things for Zayn, I thought that he should probably work on is attacking off the angles. So he would turn Brian, but then he would
stop.
Take
a step back and let him get it. He's friendly. Yeah, we call that friendly.
Yeah, like okay, you turned them, and now he's off balance, and you're not capitalizing on him. And so a lot that was one thing. And for Brian, one of the things I noticed was, I saw a little bit of growth and adaptation that he took from Avery, which was he stepped in and bullied Zayn a little bit more. Before, Brian used to use his athleticism. He used to use that leg a lot more. Yeah. This time, he just kind of like, I don't have to work so hard. I can just step in and block pop and just bop and jam him a little bit more. And it's interesting. I'm starting to see that more.
That's funny you say that.
Yeah.
I'm starting to become a trend again.
Yeah. So what's interesting is like before, it's always interesting to see the influences of great fighters. So in the 90s, from like the Anthony Price and Pedros, a lot of people were kickers. to the point where Jody, when he first came out, he was a
kicker.
kicker.
He was a kicker.
He was a complete kicker. And then it switched late 90s. The blitz took off. Mike P. I really do attribute the blitz resurgence to Mike Pombeiro.
Yeah,
I really do. I know a lot of people would say it was Raymond, but I was like, no. I would say it was Mike Pombeiro.
Yeah.
And Jody being on the team with Mike P. Mike P, him taking some certain aspects of Mike P's game or whatever, because when they would train together, they would talk to. Jody was a nerd. He would go everywhere and train with people.
Absolutely.
And so he would take little bits from everybody. And I really do think Mike P was like the initiator for the resurgence of the blitz at that point. And with that being said, it turned into this body punch. Everybody doing a blitz for body punch first type thing. Ray took it there, Jody then Ray, and it was that realm for a while. And then I'm going to attribute Ross with a lot of the step in, just jamming the heck out of people. I really do, because at that point, Ross's blitz isn't like the best blitz out, but what he does, he overpowers you, he moves you. Right. And if you try and do any of those kicks, boom, if you're trying to do that blitz, he's got that defensive side kick. He muscles you down. And I think now you're seeing the influence of Ross right now with the fighters right now today in this generation. And it's just interesting to see it.
I'm gonna do that, and I'm agree with that, and I'm gonna give you you're getting more of those kickers back, though.
Yeah, you are,
bro. Especially in the lighter weights. But even like Brian, you're getting a lot more kickers out. Yeah. So
and that's
what.
I wonder if that is the Latin influence, because I haven't really talked about this, but it's always
outside
been,
America. It's outside America because it was Zolt and Roman, Harold Schmidt. We talked about them, and then now you got the Latin kids that are just slapping everybody, and then Spence.
Yeah, so I honestly think that. So you see kickers. Ross and Zolt.
Zayn's got his leg.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
I see the influence of Ross and Zolt right now. I gave you that. Yeah.
I'm just saying,
honestly, I think Zolt came back in.
There's coming back with that resurgence of kickers, and I'm kind of liking it.
Yep. Me being I was a initial kicker, very much so, very much a kicker when I was first started. Very much so. I was a kicker and was still punch, but I loved the kick at that point. You know
it changed my kick game.
What?
Robbie
changed your kick game.
Yeah.
How did he change?
I couldn't chase him with a leg. I couldn't pick my leg up and chase him. Like I had to develop stop cuts, better side kicks, and then I had to develop a body punch blitz because he would body punch, or I had to take that little uppercut because he would dive. That's crazy.
What I want to see? I want to see a kicker being able to set people up the way punchers do. Kickers try and find it, as opposed to, you don't see somebody just punching all over the place. You know what I mean? They're moving their head. They're using movement. I want to see kickers kick off movement. You know what I mean? Like faking angles and then angle to throw the kick, moving, faking and doing fake, and then boom, get that person to freeze so you can kick them, as opposed to just raising your leg, and trying to find more
tactical. With
I do want to see that. I want to see, and a lot of people, they're not in the correct stance, because when people are kicking, their legs are too close, as opposed to being in the actual correct stance and being able to move in the correct way, and then when they're ready to punch, they spread out. So it's and me, I'm just saying, like, it's a lot of people, y'all don't notice these things, but the better fighters notice that you're changing your stances to know that you're kicking versus punching and things like that.
Where's your weight shifting? Where's your balance? Why you bounce up and you pivot that little foot on there, so I know you're gonna lift your leg up.
Yeah, you have a hitch. A lot of people have hitches.
Man, everybody's most people have tells.
Yes,
like you said, a hitch. Everybody, I watch people. I watch it all the time. My favorite is the blitz, though, because some people are fast and some people hit it on the timing, but you watch, dip, roll, go, dip. And
the dip before they're doing their fake
and People don't count the fakes. You know.
First off, don't go on 3.
Don't. I was just going to say, come on, man. Everybody do 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, don't do that, man. We go on 2. You can change that. You can go on 4. You can go on 5. You can angle and go off 1. You don't have to go off 3.
Just don't go on 3, man. Come on.
The person who's fighting you may not even realize it, but they are conditioned for you because you're probably drilling it, and the person they drill with probably does it and does that cadence. The most awkward fight, most successful fighters are coming off.
The ones who break rhythms.
Yeah, breaking people's rhythms.
You have to know rhythm to be able to break rhythm.
Right.
But the break rhythm fighters
I would love to see a kicker who really breaks another person's rhythm. Like, you know what I mean? Like I didn't realize this until I was later. Like I did it my last year when I was fighting. I was breaking people. I wasn't fat. I had slowed down enough. I had to start thinking like, okay, how can I kick this person? I have to find a way to kick this person. And I started to break people off of a rhythm to throw my kicks, as opposed to just coming out pop. I can't kick 4 or 5 times in a row anymore and be chasing somebody. That's not happening. And I would have to like pop. Okay, there you go. And people would just think, oh yeah, kick is fast. No, I caught you on your bounce up, and never mind. You know, it's just a little different.
I watched
thing.
you cut that front angle 3 times, and
yeah.
so I threw that little half fake slit up,
so you can slide that
kick
yeah.
right there, and you walked right into it. I'm not that good.
Right. I'm not that fast.
I'm not that good, bro.
Like,
I'm old now.
Yeah, I know it's the old adage. I wish I knew now when I in my younger self. Then yes, I'd be a bad man. But yeah, but it just gets to a weird part. But
yeah, no, yeah, I don't really see a lot of kickers. Well, no, I see a lot of people just flailing, moving, and throwing.
Yes,
is what I see. I was like, there are a couple who set off the back step, that back hop up to the round kick, or a little couple things, but not systematically.
Nope. A lot of people use that to close the gap. And if you really think about it, you're closing the gap with a blitz by pushing to connect. You're committing. But the kick, y'all are the first 2 kicks, or the first kick and definitely not even trying to kick the person. You're just trying to close the gap. Yeah. So that's why people are able to
people
jam
are stepping in on you now.
Yeah, because they're like, all right, that first kick's not going pow, pow. And it's like, oh, all right, yeah. The first kick.
Look how wide the feet are. Man.
Yeah.
He has to lean back, or he has to slide up before he kicks.
And a lot of people don't understand. A lot of y'all don't know why y'all getting caught in between your kick and your punch is because you're leaning far back, and now you have to come forward to throw the punch.
Then you
So that split second time from you combining from here to here is where you're getting caught with a reverse punch, the side kick, or whatever else they're hitting you with, like the hook kick, the step off hook kick. I am very impressed by that though.
The step off hook.
Yeah. I am very impressed by that.
What's up with how do you feel about the resurgence of the step away, the fade away back fist again? Back into the fold, because you know
what I'm ready to see?
What are you ready to see?
I'm ready to see
sweeps.
Yes, but the jump back side kick. From back the back of the day jump back. If y'all throwing
listen, that will change when they do 1-point body kicks, but 2-point body jumping kicks like they do in Waco. You'll get that jump, that flying side kick.
And it looks better because it's actually
it does, because, man, listen, you got to jump away and you got to extend because you're in the air.
Yeah.
Even if you're pushing yourself away, it's still an extension kick, and it creates distance. It looks much better.
Now, here's the question. If you jumped, kicked, and you were falling back, but you land out of bounds, is that a point?
Me, if you land out of bounds, no. If you land the jump back fist and you hit and you land out of bounds, that's still a no.
Okay. I honestly
you
haven't
can't catch a football and land out of bounds and be in. You got to be in bounds.
You can make a shot and land out of bounds.
You released it before you went out of bounds.
You released the kick before you landed out of bounds.
This guy. He's technically correct. But no, I'm sorry.
That's what I'm saying. So it's interesting.
It's just got to be, for me, it's just got to be, it's a rule no matter what.
Right.
If you're fighting out, and then it would count. If it's, I don't care, if you're out of bounds and you land out of bounds, then it's over, then it's not. Just whatever it is, it's got to be clear.
Exactly. That's my point.
It's got to be clear.
Whatever y'all choose.
Fighting out. Okay, if he's fighting out, he should be able to get the point.
All right. I don't have a preference. Matter of fact, what do you guys think? It should a jump, if you jump in and hit the person and then land out of bounds, should that be
a score?
A score. Yeah,
let us know, because that is kind of like a hot topic, because I've seen a lot of people at tournaments. Whoa,
I mean, I get if you're 1 foot in, 1 foot out, and you lift your leg, now you're established that you're
out of bounds. Yeah. But if both feet are in, and I do a jump spin back kick, and because someone my size has to hit someone Ross or Carlos Tierney's size, and I fly out of bounds and don't land, but I landed the kick, should that count?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. I think I think it would be a split, but I mean like a split number of people who will say, yeah. I don't. I think for some reason I just think it's going to be a landslide one way or the other. I don't know which way it would be, but I think it would be a landslide whichever way. I don't know.
I don't know, because I don't really know how I don't really care. To be honest, I don't. As
long
really
as you
care.
tell me what the answer is,
let me know what it is before I say go, or before the judge says go when I'm in the ring, because that adjusts, how I fight. You know what I mean? People, good 100%. Fighters adjust to the rules. They know what's going on. They know what the rules are. I mean, shoot, when we were kids, my instructor wouldn't let us go to a tournament without knowing the rules. Because you got to know.
You had to fight when it was 3 points.
Yeah.
Like just one point everything. 3 points.
3 points.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That was like that for forever.
You know what I thought? That would the Macho Warrior gear, right?
Yeah.
If a young person sees somebody fighting in that now, will they look at it as how we looked at somebody fighting in the old red century?
With
the drawstring,
the jewelry with the drawstring. Yeah, I know exactly what gear you're talking about.
Yeah, so I'm like, now I was talking about
that. They had the toes. They were the first joints with the little elastic pieces in the toes.
Yeah. I wonder if they look at that now like, dang, I'm gonna beat this burger up. Like he got
a crisscross gi. He got a crisscross gi and some Macho Warrior pads on. Yo, this dude is finna get the business.
Right.
That might be my next gi.
Yeah, like he ain't rocking no ASG. You know what I mean? He ain't got no top 10. He ain't got none of that.
I'm gonna have to put my helmet on backwards.
Oh yeah.
Tie my belt wrong.
Hey, my uncle used to do all that crazy stuff.
I believe it.
Because people didn't know who he was, so he was.
Who? When?
So my uncle was back in the early 80s when they used to go before. Okay. Yeah, so he had the big bottle cap glasses on.
Because AP put out the 84 KI ratings.
But he had like big bottle caps on, glasses, and like nerdy looking. Instead, people think they gonna get an easy first round because you had to stand next.
Boom! That first punch killing them. Like, oh my god.
Like, oh, all right.
I guess he could have seen me coming from the parking lot. I thought he was no good.
Who's this aggressive young man? Aggressive young man running around here looking like Raj from What's Happening. But anyway, he gonna kill me for that one.
Yeah.
He don't listen anyway. So somebody gonna tell him.
You gonna put this clip up? That ain't gonna be the clip, huh?
That is not gonna be the clip. That's not gonna be the clip I put up.
Hey, sir.
So what else? What else happened this weekend?
The UFC. I didn't watch it. But I did watch the
highlight, the Uriah fight.
The Uriah Faber, like the whole fight. Like it wasn't but like a minute or something like that.
Yeah.
Got the knockout, little TKO. Good for him.
Yep. I mean,
that's about it.
That's pretty much it. All right. So I am looking forward this week for the Keith Thurman, Manny Pacquiao.
Pac-Man. Eat.
Yeah, I gotta go with one time though. Look, Pacquiao's time. Like you're over 40, you're smaller than Keith. I just think it's time for you to lose. Like you just need to go sit down somewhere and relax.
Well, what happens when he wins? That's the argument, because like you could say B Hop should have.
Well, that is true. That is true.
I mean, what happens? Like,
Thurman, you got work to do because
if you let Pacquiao, listen, I'm diehard Pacquiao. I mean, like some of these.
So you was one of the ones cheering for Pacquiao against Floyd.
Oh, of course. But I was also the Pacquiao fan that said this fight should have happened 4 years ago. Yeah. And then we could have had a real argument.
It'd have been the same result.
Nah.
It would have been the same result.
It probably would have, but there was better chance. There was a faster fighter. There was a better head movement versus Floyd's defense never faded. It got better. It got seasoned. It was clean. It was an art form.
He knew he was gonna throw before you even threw it.
Man, listen, he knew before you blinked.
Yeah.
Like it was crazy. So
and it's frustrating.
But Manny, 3-4 years before that, Manny was faster. His footwork was much better. He was much more agile. He was stronger. Like it was just, you just like to see it in both their primes rather than both of them at the tail ends.
I wish they had fought.
That's my thing.
I wish they had fought then.
While we're on boxing,
because it would not have been
right. And there wouldn't have been the arguments.
Yeah,
there wouldn't have been the oh man, it should have been. It would have been done when it was supposed to be done, and it would have all been settled. It would have been the Ali Frazier, and they might have had 2 or 3 of them because it might have been so
how
close.
Much money it would have made. Yes.
You know what I mean? So like we could have gotten something better than what we got. That's my argument with that. Yeah. That's all I look for. But did you see the passing of Purnell? Yeah,
man, that hurt. That was disappointing. Yeah, rest in peace.
Crazy.
I saw that they said he got hit by a car.
Hit by a car.
Yeah, that's disappointing.
It's very, very unfortunate. You talk about defense.
Yeah.
You were talking about defense. That was the mold right there. That was the mold +1. I mean, really.
Yeah.
That's Floyd's. That's his mold right there with the +1. The step up on the defense, the lean back, plus he had a nice shot back with it. Like, you know what I mean? And then he took it to
Sweet P.
Man, Sweet P was fire.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't know who he was, didn't give him respect.
Listen.
But I mean, people who did, they're like, yo, that was a bad man.
That was a bad man, Majima.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
But like I said, I'm diehard Pacquiao, man. I'm half Filipino, man. Get out of here with this. Like, come on, man. I'm Florida. I'm Magic.
Oh, yeah. He's like,
till I die, bro. Like, you know? Listen, if something happens, then I gotta be with you. You know, age, man. You gotta, I hate to see your favorites go, but you gotta go, man.
You gotta go.
Hey, listen, we all gotta go at some point.
Yeah, you gotta stop at some point. So
don't be like my other favorite. Please don't be like my other.
I know why he's doing it,
right?
Monetary reasons,
of course.
but because all those, because Bob Arum, just so it is what it is. Bob Arum taking the money, like
all the money.
Yeah. So those promoters are getting their money. So
and then White Don King.
They said, yeah. They said he owed like $50 million to the U.S. in taxes.
Yeah.
Like, and then he still owed other places. So I know exactly why he's doing. And then he's so generous.
Cause
then he's giving away a lot of money too.
He gonna do Hammer and be bankrupt.
Yeah, man, he needs to stop eventually. And be able to
1 or 2 more pays and pay out and pay off and live comfortably.
And I think that's what he's
smart.
I hope that's what he's trying to do. But
No,
okay, so let me ask you this: do you think now that he is off of Arum, he's not with Arum anymore?
Oh, no.
Do you think you will see him versus Canelo?
No, I hope not. As a diehard Pacquiao fan, I hope not. That size, no, get out of here. No, come on, man. Please don't ask that. Please don't even put that bad juju in the air. Because I gotta be like, hey, that's Pacquiao. That's my dude. Like, nah, he didn't want that smoke.
Yeah, no.
Not right now. He don't want that smoke.
No.
3 years ago, he probably wanted that smoke.
He probably would have wanted it. He shouldn't have.
3 years ago? Nah, he'd have been okay.
3 years ago, he was 39.
And he'd have been all right.
3 years ago was 2016.
No, yeah.
Yeah, no. 5, 6 years ago. Yeah.
14. Yeah, 14.
Then he would have probably wanted it.
Yeah, all right.
Before the.
I'm like, yeah. Oh, man, I keep forgetting what year it is.
Yeah, yeah, man. No, he don't want that. 5, 6 years ago, he wanted that. Not now.
No, definitely not now. No. Please don't. No. Manny, I know you ain't watching. Manny, don't do that.
Yeah. Yeah, but you know what? I know what I'm about to do.
Call?
Yeah, I'm about to make the phone call.
We're going to make number 2.
Yeah. Let's see. It's ringing.
Wow.
Hello?
Jeff Sushi Dosh. What's up? This is Travis Plowden and Chris Walker. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
What's going on, Jeff? How you doing, buddy?
What's up, brother? How are you, man?
Oh, man, life is good.
Same here, man. Same here.
Glad to get you on the pod finally.
Yes.
Number one top fan of ours. So
yeah, man. I like it.
Oh shoot! Did I just?
You did that.
No, you're good.
I hit one of the buttons and it made my mic go all the way up to like 100%. Like it was super loud in here like 3 seconds ago.
Hello.
Yeah. Ooh, that's gonna be fun editing. All right, man. But how have you been, Jeff?
Oh man, doing great. Busy. Just signed the lease to move my karate school today to a new, bigger location. So
congratulations.
Crazy.
Yeah, man. Congrats. That's awesome. It's great news.
Yeah, so crazy busy with that. And then I'm also starting a new elementary program where I actually had a school that wants me to put a martial arts program as a resource. So kind of like a PE class, but with martial arts base. And so the idea is to start it with this one school and get the whole city to start doing it. So
nice.
I got a lot going on.
Yeah, man, yeah, that's
get the
great problems to have.
For, yeah,
oh, yes, sir. Clap that.
Gotta give you a round of applause
for
that.
Mr.
Yeah, man. I'm so glad. We've been talking behind the scenes about doing some things.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are gonna hear an announcement about that soon. But right now, we were looking at some of the different topics and that you sent in a couple. Which one do you feel like you want to talk about first?
I like the school one because I don't think that really gets enough. And again, this week's been crazy, so I missed the last episode. But I know I'm not the number one fan, but I'm missing. But but yeah, like the school topic, man, because I feel like that is one of the things. And I grew up as a NASCA guy and doing a lot of different stuff, and I was that one student, and I feel like you see this a lot today, where you have that one student that school or instructor or whatever feels like is awesome, and they want them to go and travel, and they kind of go and do their own thing, and you try to put them to where they can get on a team or something to get sponsored, and you see that a lot. And growing up, and that was kind of the way it was. And then hopefully you get on a team, and then there you go, you're off on your own. And then a lot of times, unfortunately, those people don't come back to their school or things, Yeah. So for me, that was something that attracted me years later to the NBL. And I'm not trying to bring that up. I'm just trying to, that was one thing that you had more school teams with the NBL. So I saw a lot of that. On the other side, though, you have, schools like where Chris comes from, like you come from, like Sharkies, that were traveling as a school to things,
Mm-hmm.
And so it's rare. So, I mean, I like seeing about that, because those are the ones, the unsung heroes that actually do the day-to-day of keeping people, of their teaching their students how to do it, and then it works on the circuit as well,
No, it's definitely rare to see lately to see a lot of good school teams. I mean, you guys are homegrown. Legend is homegrown. Like there's a lot. Well,
that's what I'm saying. I didn't know if Legend was homegrown or if they weren't. Like I really wasn't sure.
From my understanding and what I know about Tony and them, most of them are actually from Venezuela, and with all this stuff have come to Florida, and they all live, and he has a school in Florida, so those dudes are his dudes, or they were decent, and then they came over and they trained, and they've been with him for maybe like a German is like a transplant into you guys.
Yeah.
Like he's not white to black belt with you guys, but he's been there for so long that
I'm impressed that you know that. Some
Right.
people don't know that. Like some people really
that's
don't
very
know.
true.
Sorry.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like, no, like, so you have those kind of cases. Like, so I was just, I'm pretty sure that most of them dudes are right around there. But you got some of the greatest, you guys. I mean, obviously,
Boston Taekwondo.
You
Boston
already know in my
Taekwondo,
situation, there ain't nobody better than Boston TKD. Like Alberto Payne, them dudes out there, right? Like,
because my uncle did say that he went up to him and told him like, yo, I want to have a school like yours. You got a stable of competitors who came out, and he kind of molded his school and his following
like that. Yeah, because
of wanting to get a lot. And Sharky, man,
Mr. Sharky, I don't know how many people are from white to black with him. I know that's a big organization and all that, but man, they produce, and as whatever it is, as a culture, they produce a lot of quality. I mean, a lot of quality.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, I mean, it's not just like, 5 years they were the top team. Like, they've been around for years.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
So I mean, that's kind of rare as well.
That's generational.
Of course, you talk Corelli. You Chris may know a little bit more about all the details. Not all of us know all the details about that. But I thought they were more homegrown, but I'm not sure.
Who?
Oh, the Corelli team, the Hungarians.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I have no idea.
There's a lot of different cases and a lot of different ways, but most of them are. You got to think though, with a lot of the Europeans, that's kickboxing. They don't do a standard white to black belt forms and all that. Like, they just fight and they earn grades by how they compete and how they do. So like, these dudes, would be like white belts in karate. Like, these dudes don't know a traditional system. They don't know forms. They're not a Shotokan. They're not a Tong Sudo. Like, they don't hold that. They do kickboxing. That's their style, is kickboxing.
Yeah. That's why there's no belts. A lot of the people don't have belts over there.
They have to have them when they have two different colors, because there has to have a divider. But like, they really don't. But yeah, you're right. They really don't. Usually that's why the European pants have those kickboxing pants with a different color waistband. So if they have a white waistband, they wear a black shirt. They wear something that's why that is.
That shows that, yeah.
I mean,
exactly.
now I'm not saying all of them, because they're like, but the Hungarians, like, they don't do.
Yeah, it was interesting.
Traditional karate.
The biggest thing that I took away from what you just said that was interesting to me was that you said that they get a grade based off of how their performance at an event. So if they lose, they're just like, yo, you're not going up your grade.
Right.
Because because it's experience. Well, a lot of those tournaments are experience. 1 to 2 years, whatever they have different levels of experience versus belts, because they don't have the belts. Yeah. And when you get you're winning that division, move up. And you don't have to go. And again, same thing. Once you move up, you can't move back down, all that jazz. And so they do that, but they do it based off of experience and weight versus belts and all that. So I mean,
that's interesting.
It's kind of cool.
Right. Now, do you like that style then?
What?
I think it's interesting.
No, I'm a martial artist. I like doing it all. I like doing forms, fighting weapons. I think everything has its own place and application. The open stuff is great because it gets you excited, but you have to have good roots and good foundation. You got to be able to defend yourself. I personally won't tie a black belt on a kid who will get slapped by the little fat kid in class. Like that's not going to happen for me. So there has to be, martial arts is a wild facet. So you got to incorporate all of it. I don't like just the fighting aspect. No. Hell no.
Well,
Excuse me. No.
I wouldn't think you.
Not me.
So that's interesting. What other schools are like that?
So hello.
Yeah, go ahead. Yours? Oh shoot, I pressed the mute button. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh yeah. So I mean, I agree. Chris and I have a lot of the same ideas on that, as well as like, what are the the schools and instructors to me are the ones that really stand out, the ones that kind of can do it all and produce champions and forms, weapons, all that, but also have kind of gone across for a long time. Right now you have to give someone like I think it's Jason Warren, who has
that's who I was gonna say. Jason Warren, competitive edge dude. The Presleys from Tennessee, man.
Presleys.
That dude is pushing out some high quality kids coming out of that school.
Right into the deep water on the forums of the competitive edge.
I was like,
I have no idea.
I don't know who that is. He's like, Jason Warren, who's that?
Oh, okay, no,
Music City, no, like nah. Jason's putting out some good people. Who else? Florida's always put out like local schools, Williams School.
Now, are the Schumans?
Yeah, that was who I was going to say. So Schumann's is a whole system now. There's several different Schumann schools.
Yeah, you talking Melody Schumann?
But I mean, all of them have created people that have done everything. I mean, they were the top team in NBL for years, and now they're really good in WKC and Waco. So and so. Cannot think of his name. Eric Schumann is the one who started it all there, and you have Edgar Cordova that is from his team that has his own team in school, and then you have he has I think 2 sons. Salvador is the one that has a big school and a strong team, and has put out WACO champions as well as WKC as well as NBL and in forms, weapons, and fighting.
Yeah,
and I mean
Salvador's
now
the one I know.
He's competing more. Yeah, he's competing more these past 2 years, and he used to just do mostly Kempo at tournaments, but now he's fighting.
What about the Bay Area?
You talk about the Froms.
Yeah, that Froms.
The Froms, man, they're legit.
Yeah,
Josh May. Yeah. Jefferson.
Yeah.
And then you got the Dumlaus out there as well.
Yep.
And I mean, that's like Jamal and them came from out there. Jamal, his brother Jason.
Yeah.
That's then the Arceos.
I was about to say
Arceos is a squad out there. Like now the Bay's got a lot of homegrown family team.
Too, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Jang and them boy.
Yeah. And see, they have some guys that have made the traditional karate team for the juniors and stuff before and everything like that.
Yeah,
so
I've been seeing them.
They've done it all. So when I was on proper, that was what was cool to me, was that there was, they only competed mostly in the tournaments I saw them in fighting, but they knew their stuff and they would help me with things. I'd help them, and it was cool because they were a real overall martial arts team in school. So
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Another team I'm thinking of, but there, see, it's blurred a little bit because they got some people who aren't from their system who are on their team, but it is like next level.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
You
know what I mean? Like,
yeah, absolutely.
But then they got some extra people who
they got a couple of extras, but
they're
but they train there. Well, like Katie, but Katie trains with them a lot apparently. And then like the blockers and then But no, they're a dope homegrown squad. Especially all the major players.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to think of
for me, Corky Sykes has a huge school. I always have to give him props because they do everything. They're down in Georgia. They do fighting forms, weapons, whatever. They do all their stuff there. So he was always able just not only to come with some people come 4 good people, but he had 20 or 30, just be tons.
He always he always has a gaggle of people. He still does.
Yeah, still does. And still doing it. And then
Survivor's coming up. The first week of August, right?
Survivor's in 2 weeks.
You coming?
Yes, I will be there.
I might have to go at least one day then.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I was
we'll drive down.
Yeah. I might have to pop up and go over there. It's in Savannah or Augusta?
Jekyll.
No, it's going to be in Jekyll Island.
Jekyll Island,
yeah.
It's a beach there?
Yeah, it's nice, man.
Yeah, I guess
we might have to go for a day or two.
All right, Jekyll Island. All right, I can hit the beach real quick and it's not too far. How far is that?
It's not that far.
I've never been to Jekyll Island. 4 hours?
4 hours.
Okay.
Easy 4 hours though.
All right, yeah, cool. All right, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna hit that. I'm gonna see you there then, Jeff.
All right, that'd be good.
Let's see.
You talked a couple weeks ago about you seeing Alchemy at WKC. That is a strong team. Blanco Villanueva, they're from El Paso, and they have been doing it for years. So his original instructor is the Robles. So
really?
Jennifer Robles. Robles.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, and so and Ishmael and all that. So all of them come from that whole system, which Regina came from and everything. So, I mean, there's a lot. Gandhi was originally from there as well. So they all have a strong system, and man, he's just killed it down there. So Laco has last year his team did WACO, and I think they won a few. The year before that did WKU. This year they're doing WKC. They're kind of trying to do a little bit of everything. So
I talked to him a little bit at the Nationals, and we had a good conversation after his division. I was just like, yo, your kids are are dope. Like I'm like watching them fight. Like yo, y'all don't fight like kids.
Nah.
Right.
You can tell
they don't.
Yeah, you can tell the experience that these kids have. I'm like, nah, y'all thinking, y'all look good.
He said, no, you made an adjustment. I seen 2 adjustments in like 30 seconds. Hold on.
Wait, what? Y'all look like little Willies. Like, hey, Willie was like one of the kids that I used to look at and like, yeah, dude, you've been here before. Like, like, yeah, you like 6 years younger than me, but you thinking like me. Like, all right, I see what you're doing here. But yeah, but no.
Right. Yeah, and the other thing that they do that you don't see too much in, the States as much, but you see it either in Texas or Mexico or Guatemala, is their teams do really well at continuous and point.
Yep.
And, that's something that, you really see. Andres Garcia and some of those guys from Guatemala, they've been doing pretty well over in Waco because they had that background of doing both. So it's cool to see them adapt to each thing,
Yeah.
Because that's a whole different style of fighting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I did. I only did continuous one time.
Oh man, I used to like continuous.
Really?
I love continuous.
I did continuous one time, and it was in South Carolina. I think it was at Dixieland, and I think I was fighting for first and second against, I think it was Keith Weston.
Oh man,
And
probably so. Yeah,
like,
he's a beast.
And in 15 seconds, he kicked me in my
junk.
Yeah, and they wouldn't stop. I'm trying to tell them like, y'all just got, and they kept going. I couldn't fight. Like I can't hit him back right now. My uncle's like, you gonna have to do something because he's still coming.
Your
like,
butt.
Yeah, he's still coming.
Yeah.
I was like, nah.
He ain't quitting.
I was like, my God, it's in my stomach right now. Like I can't. I'm done with this. I'm not doing this. I'm trying to call timeout so I can get some kind of medical. They were not having it. I was like,
oh man, yeah. I always that was probably my best thing as far as for fighting, and I did better in continuous than in point. I always enjoyed that. That was fun.
Yeah.
I can.
Jeff was good at continuous.
I can see that the person to my left probably enjoyed. Did you enjoy continuous?
I love. Well, it depends. It depends on what the rules are and
right.
If they let you and if they follow the rules. Like if you telling me right now that you're just gonna let us go, I love continuous.
Yeah, keep that up.
Love continuous. Keep that same energy when I smack that kid back. Is all I'm saying. But if you're telling me it's gonna be light and easy, I like that too, as long as it stays light and easy. Yeah. So no, I really enjoy. I mean, obviously, I enjoy continuous. I moved into full contact and did all the rest of it. I love that feel of being in control, not per exchange, not per down like football, but like total control over a total time period. You know what I mean? So like I liked the idea that 1 or 2 shots first wasn't going to determine the entire outcome of the fight.
Yeah.
Because you might be faster with that back fist, or they might call that back fist that brushes your shoulder and it didn't hit, but I caught you 4 times after that. And when it really comes down to a fight, again, my mentality was I came from the street. You know what I mean? Like
throwing a back fist.
Well, you know what I mean. I mean, but people throw a running blitz, a driving blitz with a jab and a cross. And a continuous. Well, obviously, but I mean, So for me, I like combinations. I don't like to stop at one.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Don't look at me like that. I don't like to stop when they say break either. What's your point? I know you looking at me funny, but like I know.
It's what it is.
Right.
All right.
One more that I know that I can't believe we were forgetting them, but Team United, Trevor Nash, Casey, they're cool up there. I mean, it's crazy. It's so good.
Yeah, they're fantastic.
And they do everything. And
have you talked to them in a while?
I was there in November. I did a seminar up there in November.
Okay.
So it was awesome, man. They're doing great. Trevor, I don't know. I know he's trying to step away a little bit, I think, as far as ownership, but I'm not sure. And just teach and not have the pressure of the other stuff. So
okay, the whole running of the business type part.
But they have like 6 or 7 of those schools. So he has the franchise.
They got a franchise. They got a lot of schools. So
and
they cover a wide area.
I didn't know, but like I think owns like Macho and some of the 3 of the distributors for Canada up there.
For Canada.
Like he does that. That's what that's what Casey's mom does. She runs that up there.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah. The macho, I think top 10 and something else, but
yeah, something else. So I mean, they got a lot, and I know that he used to own several of the buildings for the schools, and he sold most of them. So yeah, I mean, they're doing well. Casey's still in great shape, having fun, enjoying teaching. So
yeah, they're killing it. And I mean,
to me, their son looks just like Butch. So
oh my God, so much.
Yeah,
he does.
So it freaks me out.
How old is their son?
I'm thinking like 12 or something.
Yeah, 11 or 12. I wanted to say
something like that. Yeah.
Hilarious.
But yeah, he looks like a little man, like Butch did.
He does. He kind of does.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, for me, it's cool to see that kind of thing with the karate schools. Like you said, I mean, we could go on and on about stuff. I mean, even Tankson's, Tankson's had killers. I mean, that they would come out. And then there's those unsung hero ones that would have, just a group, and they would stay to themselves, and they would, go around and just beat everybody, and then you wouldn't hear from them again for a while. There was just that kind of thing. But for me, like, those are the people. I think those are instructors sometimes that don't get the credit that maybe that someone that had is the coach for a sponsored team maybe does, and I don't know where that kind of happened or what went, But to me, if they can make 20 top stars and then continue it over and over and over, and they have good underbelts that start from underbelt and go to a junior black belt and go all the way up to adult black belt, that's a big deal. And run a business,
right?
That's a big deal.
Yeah, and when you include, like you said, when you include starting to run the business and incorporate that, and then you got a lot of these dudes that franchise it out, and that's a big deal.
It's a huge deal.
Yeah.
What's up,
Right.
Josh?
Right. Listen.
Yeah, exactly, Josh. Yeah.
Slapping people right now.
What was the question that you had earlier, Chris?
Which ones?
We had a question. You had a question about something. It was like a post that somebody made. Do you remember?
Oh, that was the there were two. Alex been putting up some stuff. He did the benefits of being on a non-sponsored karate team.
Yeah.
And then he put the what would you do if you're down 5 points? And it's like the last 10, 15 seconds or something. Those are the two.
Yeah.
Like those questions, to me those questions are like
okay.
I mean, I can see a few benefits for that solo kid that we're talking about. That kid he's the only person from their school. He's got really nobody out there around him. They want to go out, but they don't even care about getting their tournament paid for. They just the feeling of unity. Somebody who has your back while you're out traveling. You have that. That's a benefit for some people.
Yeah.
Right.
So I mean, to me, that really kind of plays into the only benefit for me to be on that, and you have the opportunity to team fight. If it's an adult team, you can do team forms, you can do team fighting, and you can have people who have your back. You don't have to be by yourself all the time. Some people like being by themselves, and they don't care about that. But those for me are the advantages. I don't know any other advantages.
I think it's
for being
different for a junior than an adult, though, too. So.
True. I saw somebody's comment on there saying, as soon as you say judges, my team is, you get an extra 0.2 to 0.4 or whatever score on your thing. I mean, but you got to be good to get on a couple of them teams.
Do they still do, the presentation?
Bro, we were talking about that, man. I've been trying to tell people to get rid of presentations for 5 years now.
I was curious.
For traditional,
I think it should be done for traditional. It definitely should be done for traditional.
Man, yeah.
And honestly, you would get my opinion on that, but I can't stand intros, man. If it's all the freaking same, why does everyone have to do the punch to turn and the same freaking music, and then oh god, so it's just the same thing over and over again. So
so it's redundant and useless. So that for me,
as a judge, and do you remember the person's name?
No, I don't know. I know the kids who I already know, and I don't care about, I don't care about their names about the other kids. If they impress me or something, I'll go over and ask them, hey, what was your name again?
I never asked the kid what their name was. you know,
I asked Bill Viola one of his kids was, because his kid was pretty good.
But if a lot of kids do in the same divisions and you run
you know who they are. Who the kids are. You know what my biggest pet peeve with that whole intro thing is? The dude just called your name on the nighttime finals, and you're gonna walk up and introduce yourself to the judges. Like, come on, man.
That's true.
Well, I think about it. How long are the average introductions though? 45 seconds, and the form is 45 seconds.
Right.
By the time they bow, walk up, talk to the judges, bow, back up, bow, and start their form, that's at least a minimum 30 to 45 seconds. 20 kids per division times 15 divisions. How many hours are you saving by just getting rid of that? And what else can you do in a productive manner than just watch kids go, judges, my name is, my teacher is, my Grandmaster Seafood P-Funk All-Stars. I represent the Grand Poobah cheerleading national team. Like, you know what I mean? Like, bro, come on.
Grandmaster, okay?
Yeah. Well, I think, so for me, Chris, like, what that sounds like when people do it in that manner, they're just blending in with everyone.
Right.
So instead of using the opportunity to stand out, you know, like that should be your opportunity to like make everyone watch you. And that's, for me, is my whole thing with it.
That separates the better competitors.
This is my chance to get people, if they're not coming to my ring to watch me, guess what? They're going to now, because I'm going to do something crazy, you know, or I'm just going to make it to where the music is so cool to where everyone wants, hey, what's that? You know, like that's, to me, is what the point of the intro is. It gives you the time to pull the audience in. Now, that's the way I think of it, because I come from I'm a huge pro wrestling fan. So I think of everything like that, you know, like you got to get the people to watch you. You could have the best form in the world, but if no one's watching you, who cares?
Where did you come up with Pac-Man?
What is that?
What made you use Pac-Man?
Oh, use Pac-Man.
Like,
the Pac-Man thing?
Where did that come from?
So that actually happened just on the spot. Like, it was at Diamonds in 2000, and so, man, I was trying to find something to where people could, like, you know, watch my kicks, and it was like, you know what, I'm gonna have to. It's not just me being clean anymore. It's gonna be something to where I'm gonna have to turn up the attitude, you know. And so out of nowhere, I would start doing the whole like Gabe Bernaga / Butch Tokasala intro, like with the Go to Shio kind of thing, right? Yeah. And I would do that in my open form, and then I was just like out of nowhere in the middle of the form, and it was packed at that event that year. I just kind of turned them toward each other and just started talking to each other, and next thing you know, there we go. And it was just. That's all everyone talked about that whole tournament. It was just kind of crazy, right?
Yeah, because it was like, wait, what?
Wait, what?
Like, is he gonna do it? Oh, he's doing it. Yeah, and it's funny you think about it. Like, yo, he's talking. Yeah,
it's crazy, you know, because it's like the biggest, you know, conundrum. Like, I want everyone to. It's the craziest thing, because I'm trying to do like martial arts in my form, right? Mm-hmm. And then I have to do something that ridiculous to get people to notice my martial arts, but that's kind of the way that it was, right? So it's like, so I combined the crazy, crazy entertainment with the kicks and stuff, you know, that people weren't doing.
Right. Had something to be different than what the trend was at the time, which was starting to be trick.
Right. Trick. Everyone doing the same thing, this and this and that.
Oh yeah.
You know, so my thing was, all right, well, I know no one can kick like me. I know no one can hold a twist kick for 5 to 10 seconds. I know that this, you know, how do I get them to do that? And then it just kind of amped up, you know, my attitude that maybe I didn't let everyone see before. So, and then, you know, I did that, and then I found Intergalactic, which it worked perfect with it, and there you go. So.
Yes,
but
sir.
And I mean, that's just kind of what I mean. Like, I use the intro as a way to get people to watch, you know. Right. And there's other people that do the same. You know, Butch Tokasala did that.
He always did this.
Well.
Yeah.
Good Lord, I love that stuff. And growing up, I used to make fun of that stuff. You know, we didn't understand it. Like, what are they doing? They're dressing up, doing this or that. Yeah. Now I get it.
Yep.
I will say the one thing about the NBL that was a showman.
Oh, it was a show.
Yeah,
NBL was a show, man.
It was definitely
self-defense division. Like, it was a production. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean that was different. It was a way they were trying to find a way to stand out, and then again, the problem, like always, is then everyone shows up with sparkly uniforms or sequin uniforms, and then everyone does the same song. That and like everything, it has to change, and that's kind of the way we did. Like Gandhi and I and several other ones started wearing actual uniforms again. So it was, but yeah, man.
Yeah. What was the other topic you said, Chris?
The down by 5 points.
Oh, yeah.
All right, look.
What do you do when you're down by 5 points in the last 10 seconds?
This is something I saw. I noticed at the battle that I was seeing a lot of people would be up, but then if they were winning, they would put their hand up like, yeah, just stop. Like, just let time run out. And the other opponent who was losing would just stand there like, oh, okay. I didn't understand it. I was like, I don't get it. You continue to fight, but this new generation of them I sound like an old person. As soon as it came out of my mouth, I sounded like an old person.
Yeah. You did.
This new generation.
This newer generation.
This new generation
you daggone whippersnappers out here just quitting at the end of your fight just because somebody told you to because the win them by 3.
First off,
you just told me to stop fighting. Like, you lost your mind. I'm going to punch you in the mouth just for that.
Yeah, like, no.
What you mean hold your hand out like I should stop? Get out of here with this.
Stop.
But I tell you what, I've done that to several people, bro. Like, hey, come on, man. Look at the time. There's 30 seconds left, and you're down by like 7 points. You might as well just bow out now.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever done. I always back off. I
would hit somebody,
and I'll move. But I wouldn't tell them like, ha ha ha. Don't even try, buddy. like that's just a little.
Try, buddy.
Man, we did that in Europe. Like, it was in Europe when you know some of them fighters in Europe. Not all of them.
Yeah.
But some of them that it would be like, man, come on. It's 9-0. There's like 8 seconds left.
See, if it's 9-0, I want that 10. I'm a jerk. I want the 10. I don't care if it's 3 seconds. I want to spread you. I want my 10-0. Bow. There we go. All right. Now you can bow out, sucker. And then, whatever. But, I would think you need to continue to fight until they tell you to stop. They throw that little bottle, or can we get something that's
not a bottle anymore, a water bottle,
a glove. They were throwing all kind of just random things.
They used to have like white belts that were like tied in a knot and throw them at people.
Yeah, the white belts.
Just get the bean bag.
Bean bag.
Yeah, bean bags were the truth.
Yeah, just get the bean bag. And
make sure you got to be fun though. You got to try to hit somebody.
I always try to hit somebody.
I always try to hit the center ref.
Yep. Yeah, always.
Oh man.
All right. Let's see. Next topic. Let's do the top 5.
Which top 5?
We're gonna
which?
We're gonna do top 5. Well, first off, Jeff, since we've said our top 5 forms and weapons.
Oh God.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Who are your top 5?
Man, I wasn't prepared for this one.
Yeah.
All right, so I got to put. Oh man! All right, are we? What did we do? We did forms and then weapons.
Yeah, they're separate.
Like
separate.
2 separate.
Yeah, 2 separate.
God, see, that's so hard for me because then I have to separate traditional and 2. But whatever, I'll make it work.
Exactly.
So forms, John Valera, of course. It's kind of biased, but if people don't know, that was my competition coach. So, and he was from the same system of everything. But I mean, he's just to me the best. So there's that. John Sue, I have to put him in there just because of how wide range and how he could do multiple styles and multiple leagues.
That is somebody I forgot though. That is somebody I forgot to mention. I think.
No, I competed against him for too long. I couldn't put him as my favorite. No disrespect. I love John Sue though, because you're right. He did so many different styles at so many different levels and won.
Right.
Chinese, Japanese.
Right. I mean,
Korean,
I hated.
Morphed.
You know how it was when we were those 2 new ones moving up, trying to beat him every tournament.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
But, let's see, golly, how much. I got to put Matt in there, Matt Emming in there. And I'm going to go just more on I know I'm gonna forget someone and be pissed at myself, but I'm gonna put Stephen Ho. Because of the creativity and the craziness and the choreography that he had back in the day. Like he would mix like 20 musics, 20 songs together.
Oh yeah.
And we're talking about in like the late 80s.
Yeah. Like looping reel tape. Like, yeah. Like,
yeah.
No,
like it was nuts.
Steve.
There's a video I have to send it to you. Prep. It was nuts, man. Just all the different stuff that he did. But remember. He really inspired people, like Carmichael and stuff like that. Yep. So
Stephen Ho was the first dude to try 540s.
Yeah, I mean all of that.
Stephen Ho used to try 540s. There's like 2 videos that I've seen from my instructor had. Both times he didn't land it, but he was doing them back then.
Yeah.
He gave me the best part of the information. He gave me the best tip of my forms. Ever.
Jumps. Yeah. I mean, random things that people weren't doing, running and doing a triple kick in the air with 1 foot and then doing them with just crazy stuff. So what did I say? John, Steven,
Matt,
Emming, and then, God, this is hard for me. I'm going to have to go to Keith Weston.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Keith.
Yeah. I mean, and there's so many other, ones that I like and such. But yeah, I'm going to have to go Keith Weston just because and especially now, like he's still going.
Yep.
I mean, and when he shows up and competes anywhere, everyone just stops and watches,
Yep.
That's legit, like that's cool.
All right. Now your weapons.
Weapons, Casey. That was fast, so Casey.
Get that right out of the way.
Yeah.
God, that's after that. I don't give a crap. No, I'm just kidding. Kalman. I gotta give love to Kalman, and man, I'm trying to figure out my favorite because for me this is one of the toughest weapons ever. So I feel like if you can do it really good, then you need to be on the list. And I'm just trying to decide which one. For me, it's the 3-sectional bow.
I was about to say it's a 3-section, yeah.
So, like, I always liked watching Ho Young do it growing up.
Yeah.
That was cool to me.
Ho Young was good.
But, I mean, Ming was the best to me seeing, so I have to put her in there, Ming Lu.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So, what was that, 3?
Yep,
4?
3.
3. Golly. Yeah. Okay. I'm stumbling. Why am I thinking? Why does it take me so long to think on this stuff? There's a lot of different ones. It's hard to say. I would. Man,
that's the best.
Sorry, Gary Waugh. Putting Gary Waugh in there.
Yeah.
Gary Waugh. He just took it to another level with the bow, and like Gary I could watch some people's stuff. Like when you watch like a bow form, like even Casey when she went like 94, 95. I mean, it's awesome, but I watched it's like, oh, well, all right, she got way faster later on. But I watched him at that time, and I'm like, holy crap. Like,
Gary was
still
fast.
like,
Gary's
that
fast and explosive.
Yeah. And like, that was just crazy to me. And then my next, my final, I don't know, it's a hard one. Final one, man, I know I'm forgetting people and stuff, and I'm weapons and everything. I don't know. But I'll go Rudy Raymond with commas.
Rudy.
I was just here to say, I just said to Trav, I was like, man, nobody picks anybody who does commas. And then you pick Rudy. And Rudy was dope with the commas. Rudy did a lot of innovative things with them things.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much. I mean, you could do per weapon if you wanted to. I mean, that's what I was gonna say to Trav. I was like, yo, if we would have to do it, it'd be like, who's your favorite at each weapon? Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what you was about to say?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was about to say. Who's your favorite
at
each weapon?
It's the same thing with forms. And with like, you could do open forms, you can do traditional. I mean, and even then people are going to look at different things with Korean and stuff like that. I mean, in soft style, who your favorite wushu was. I mean, Ming. I know yours, Chris, but
Ming.
Yeah, Ming. Ming.
There ain't no question on that one.
Yeah.
I mean, DX was cool. There was some. I mean, what's his DeMarco was dope.
Oh, Anthony DeMarco.
Yeah,
Anthony
DeMarco had
dope.
flavor, man.
Yeah, man, he was a
about.
b-boy. He has style with his yeah. I mean, I like people who look out there. Like, I like that.
All right. So now you are officially off the hot seat on that one. But now we're about to do top 5 for all of us.
Oh, Jesus.
That we got to pick up.
Oh, man, I got to think. Oh, Jesus.
And it is the top 5 all-around competitors. That means they do weapons, forms, and fighting.
Oh, that's easy for me.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's easy for you. Then go ahead.
Are we going to go back and forth or everyone do the 5?
Oh, yeah. Because, I mean, it's probably going to be the same. At least 3 of them better be the same.
Probably.
At least 3 of them got to be the same.
Okay. All right. So now I got a question. Do they have to do all 3 or do they have to do
2 out of 3?
Yeah.
If I'm going to call you an all-around competitor, I like to see at least 3. I like to see at least 3.
Okay. All right.
So, like, Casey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, that's mine, Casey.
Yeah. Casey.
So
Terry Kramer. Kevin Thompson.
Yep, that's 3rd.
Who'd you put?
Kevin Thompson.
Oh, yeah, Kevin Thompson.
Terry Kramer, Casey. Shoot, if you want to, I mean, you can go with Bernardo, but he's not one of my favorite all 3s. He does all 3. Tank.
He's pretty good all 3.
Tank does all 3 very well. And I don't know who I'd have to round out with my 5th. I have to think.
Well, see, you picked pretty much mines that I was thinking.
Those are kind of like the all-time big joints for me.
Well, see, there's one that, but because we said you had to do all 3, I can't pick this one person because they only did weapons and fighting.
Ross.
Yeah.
But Ross's bow was very good, and as a junior, Ross did very good in forms. See, there are a lot of kids like we talked about that. There are a lot of people like Mark Canonizato was an amazing junior fighter, and he did weapons, forms, and fighting. Robbie Lavoie did weapons, forms, and fighting. There were a lot more. I've seen John Sue fight. John Sue's not a bad fighter. Now, he's not going to win an overall grand, but John Sue can fight. Like. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Gabe Renaga fought. Mike Chat fought before. I've seen John Valera fight before. Like, I mean, there's a lot of dudes that before,
and they all won too.
Yes, they did.
They've won stuff. Yeah.
I know who I'm going with my 5th.
Who?
I'm going with Bowles.
Yeah, that's who I was
going
to say.
I'm going with Matt Bowles.
Matt Bowles is dope.
Because he not only did he do forms, weapons, and point fighting, but he would do
continuous.
Yeah. So I would have to go with Matt Bowles. Yeah. Because I was about to go with Terrence Alfred, but I was like, I'm gonna go with Matt Bowles. Who? Terrence Alfred.
Oh yeah.
I was about to go with him, but I was like, nah, I'm gonna go with Matt Bowles. Bowles.
I had to veto that one. I had to put myself
Bowles
in
got
over
the.
I had to put myself in over the other one. No, just kidding.
Yeah, Chris.
Kidding.
I mean,
No. Matt Bowles is dope.
I gotta go with Bowles. So who would you guys if you had a different 5? I mean, a different person or a different. Okay.
So I put Jason in there, Tankson.
Yeah.
Because he won weapons, forms, and fighting and all of it.
He's won overalls.
He won all of it.
And he actually won grands and all of it as well.
Yeah, I'm saying he's won overalls in all of those.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Terry has done that.
Terry has. Kevin has. Obviously, Casey has.
Yeah, Jason has.
Yeah, so it's kind of like one of those who's won an overall in.
I mean. Yeah, I'm trying to think.
Because Ross has, AKA, he's got Warrior Cups in both, and he's got diamonds in both. Yeah. So I mean, that's a big deal. But I understand. I knew where you were going with that. Yeah. With that comment, but.
Hold on, I just forgot my other one. I mean, for me, I look at ones like, well, I won't put Sage because he didn't compete as an adult, but he did every freaking thing.
He did every division.
And so I would put Colby over Sage because she won as an adult.
Yeah.
With forms, weapons, and fighting. Well, not as much with weapons. All right, but she did like Kempo and Japanese and
Korean
and
form,
open. And, I mean,
she did every one of the disciplines
all around as you can get. Mm-hmm. So there's ones like that.
That's another thing that NBL had always done. That was good. That they always offered all the divisions,
the all around,
and they would let you do all of the dang divisions. Like if in NASCA back when they I don't know if they still do it, but I think they do. If you separate Japanese, Korean and Chinese and Kempo now. You can only do one of those.
Really?
You can't
Right.
do. You can't
I think
do all
you can
of them.
do them all now if you want.
You should be able to. I mean, you
kinda-
could do creative,
yeah.
extreme, and musical open. Like, why couldn't you
Yeah,
do?
exactly. Yeah.
But
It used to be that way, and they used to set it up too to where it would be in different rings, so that way you aren't
Yeah.
able to do it.
like what?
So y'all want this
Yeah.
money? What are y'all doing?
Hey, that's an
Yeah.
extra $25 y'all be charging
I
now.
know.
35 now. Sure.
I cheated one time at Diamonds, and I got 2 wristbands, so I could do both.
Yeah, that's dope.
And they were like, "Hey, whatever." I was like, "Hey,
All right.
listen, I came to do Korean and Japanese, so whatever."
Like, I'm going to do.
I'm
going to
do
take
them
this
both.
money and shut up.
Yeah. I mean, come on.
Yeah, that's insane.
I never understood that. I never understood turning down somebody who wants to compete in a division, especially when you make money off of letting someone have a spot on the mat.
What was the
Like,
justification? Do you know?
They're like, you can only compete in one traditional discipline. That was their justification. They didn't say why. They just said you can't do it.
I wonder who would have been the jerk. Sat there and complained that somebody's winning too many of. He's not really Japanese.
Well,
like,
yeah.
Like, who would have done that? Like
A lot of people, bro. I'm
A
telling
lot
you.
of people who don't
we-
want to, got tired of losing. To
Yeah,
somebody
we
or something.
we talked about this a couple weeks ago, man. I told him, I was like, I know of parents who have paid judges to make sure that certain kids don't win or certain kids do win. Like
Correct.
money.
that's insane.
Correct.
That's insane.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Bro,
crazy.
come on.
It's
It's
a
a
karate
karate tournament.
trophy.
And it's not even the adults that win $1,000. It's the kids for first place. And a trophy.
That's
And a
just-
pat on the back.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's making
Bro, you
sense.
buying
get a
that?
trophy. That's just
And you
insane.
mad at your kids for feeling entitled? Sorry, like
Well, I mean,
you know,
that
yes.
happens. It does happen in adults too,
all the time.
but forms, But
Somebody is paying.
For belts, bro. I had a dad at one time. His kid failed like 3 novice black belt tests, and the dad asked me, so like, what's it gonna take? Like, what's it gonna take? And rubbed his fingers together, like, what's it gonna take for my kid to get his belt? I was like, hard work, sweat, and dedication, and getting better. I don't know, like, or you can go to ATA or the street. I know they'll take your money and give you a belt. Like, you don't look at it from me.
Yeah.
I mean,
I-
$3,000 is my price. $3,000 cash.
That is crazy to me that you're gonna go that far to
Well,
try
people do,
and.
nah, people do that, man.
That's insane. That's just insane to me. Like to really
Listen,
think about that.
I live
To
I live
win
in
a
my-
plastic trophy.
bro. I know.
right. Oh man,
And
That's
people
crazy.
and I look, man, I will say this 1,000 times. Karate people are crazy. I am
Oh, yeah.
included in
Oh, yeah.
this.
Oh,
We
yeah,
are
we all
nuts.
We're
crazy.
nuts.
But that's another level of nuts that I'm just not like, I don't get. Like, I don't
Yeah,
get
no,
this.
that's karate people with money. Problems.
Yeah,
Right.
so-
karate people are crazy. All right, any people that walk around with jeans on with a gi top, you're crazy. All right, people that wear the cup on the outside of they're crazy. Any of that,
I am so happy that trend went away.
the
Man,
cup on the outside.
I'm too lazy to change because we didn't have different
I'ma
gis.
show you.
Well, no, that's
I'm
because
wearing my
we didn't have different gis back in the day. Like you wore one gi, so you just put it on the outside, fought,
insane.
turned it off, and
That's
let legs
right.
go. I didn't have to go in the bathroom where all them other kids was peeing on the floor, and I had to change my
Well,
pants.
that's true. That's
Well, see,
true.
all right, this is gonna be. I've always been the person. No matter what I'm doing, if I'm putting on my karate uniform, I have my cup on. Always.
Even in
Yeah.
forms class.
It didn't matter if we were doing drills. It didn't matter what it was. I'm putting my cup on. Like I guess it maybe just make I like I'm.
It's
I'm
part of your uniform.
It's
Nah,
just, that's it. Like yo. Well, okay.
yeah, I did
All right.
groin
Let me.
kicks.
Yeah. So when I started, you did your white belt and you couldn't spar until you got your gold belt, right? And I remember we got our gold belts, we got our karate uniforms, our karate gear, and it was a Saturday morning and my dad was teaching. So my dad was teaching, me and my brother had to go and spar. So it was our first time sparring. I raised my leg and started kicking at him. Blah, blah, blah. My brother just hauls off the back leg. Front kicks me, gold basically just punts me in the balls. I go flying across the room like, ah! My dad walks over and is like, we're going to have to get you a cup. So, yes, I think that probably has something to do with it.
That definitely has something to do with it.
I mean, this is a story that, I got 800 stories, but
Yes.
all right, fine. It's a story that they laugh at it, but I did it. Sixth grade, I got into an argument with this kid, right? Sixth grade, we basically what happened was we would go in the bathroom and wrestle or whatever, and I slammed this kid named Damien, right? Just bodied him, bah. And so leave the bathroom or whatever, and we just in there and then in class or whatever. And somebody was talking, I was like, yeah, I slammed Damien, da da da. But they're like, you slammed Damien? I was like, yeah. So what? So they run and tell the wrong Damien.
Oh, I had two Damiens.
There's another Damien who's in a completely different class. Damien, let's just say he wasn't the nicest kid. Let's just say he may have been affiliated with some things.
Wow.
So Damien comes up like, I heard you talking junk on the playground. He's like, I heard you talking. I'm like, I ain't talking junk. Like, what are you talking about? I was like, I was talking about the other Damien, not you. The other Damien. Oh, you talking about the other Damien? You lying, da da da. So we got into this little argument, whatever, pushing or whatever. So the next day, I'm like, I'm gonna have to get into a fight. I know it. I wore my cup because I was
to school.
Yeah. I thought I was going to get into the fight.
Yeah.
Funny thing is, I didn't get into the fight. I'm just walking around with my cup on.
Oh man, that's great.
I mean, I just had to. It was gonna happen. I was gonna protect
I was
myself.
ready. I was ready to
Yeah,
go.
That's a good plan.
But I say
I know,
all that. I just wear my cup no matter what.
Oh man.
Right. Yeah, I know. There's a promoter in North Carolina that wears his cup everywhere when he goes out, just in case. Just in case.
I believe. Listen, I believe it. I believe some stuff like that pops off. No man, like
I can't be mad at him, but at the same time, like, all right, you're a little extra.
That's a little extra.
Extra.
Baby man, hey, he's protected though.
But
ain't nobody finna kick him in the nuts.
Okay, is he married? Think about that. Think about you going on a date wearing your cup.
How you gonna be romantic at the end of that?
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, baby, hold on.
Like, hold on. What is that? Oh, just gotta be. I gotta make sure
I'm safe.
What is that?
You gotta be safe before, during, and after.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm sorry.
Oh man.
Oh my god.
That's too much for me right now. Holy Jesus.
Oh. Okay, so
all right then.
Yeah. On another note, karate people are weird.
Yeah, karate people, and I include myself in
Me
this.
too.
Hey, people, what are you talking about? No, I am weird. Okay,
He got the cup thing, man. I hate feet.
I do hate feet too.
I hate feet because of karate.
I do hate feet.
All of our years as children, Jeff, you remember this, man. All them kids with their feet pads on standing at the urinal. And then coming out to the tournament trying to kick.
That's disgusting.
Like, no,
that's
to this day,
yeah.
I hate feet, bro. Like, I wear flip-flops. I got mat shoes for my dojo kids. Like, before you go into the bathroom, I know not everybody wear flip-flops. I got a pair of flip-flops right there. You put them in there. You're not finna walk into the bathroom and then come back on my mats. No, sir. I mop once a day. I'm not trying to walk your little pee-pee ass right back in my mats. So I'm sorry.
Oh man, that could be its own top 5, like weird things that karate people do, or you've seen at a tournament. You know.
That is weird.
Oh yeah, we got. Yeah,
oh
that's
man.
That's a good.
That is a good
Lord.
one. That is a good one.
We're gonna write that down.
Oh,
top 5 weird things.
Oh man.
People who ball up their gi from the last tournament and be sitting in their bag. You see those people. It's few and far between now, but back in the early 2000s, the late 90s, you see these dudes pulling out their gi and it was just balled up.
Yeah, we used to get dogged about that. Did you ever?
We used to get in trouble for that.
Belt? Like throw it in the
what?
Did you ever wash your belt? Like throw it in the.
You don't wash your belt.
You don't wash your belt.
I was a child. I did not know this.
Oh man,
that thing was.
So you
wrinkled.
had a white belt that turned like yellow.
It's yellow.
It was a yellow belt that was just kind of like crinkled up. It was like little like corn. Like it just was weird, like corn on a cob belt. Like
what a stitching. What a stitching.
Yeah, it's all round. I'm like, I guess I wasn't supposed to do that. But you learn, living you learn. But so yeah, it's a lot of weird stuff, man.
Yeah, no, that's been a big topic lately in the jiu-jitsu community. because the tradition in karate, our belts don't touch the floor. Like this is a obi. It's like it's me. It's my spirit.
I earned this.
Yeah, it's my spirit. So like I wipe my sweat with my belt. I wipe my blood on my belt. Like it's just
what they're doing.
No. That's like at the end of my workout.
Oh, okay.
But no, what they're saying is because jiu-jitsu, they're rolling on the mats. They fall off. They get stepped on. They grab them. They do it for sanitary reasons. You're supposed to wash them now. Like like nowadays that we know about health and stuff, it's not about tradition and all that. You're supposed to do that. I still don't wash my belt. Like, nah, you're tripping. That's weird. That's just weird to me. Like, I mean, I might at the end of the workout, if it's nasty, I use a little Lysol, a little disinfecting spray, but that might be it. And that's putting enough bad juju on my belt as it is. Like, like nah. My black belt ain't no.
Man, all I know is that when I'm up in Detroit and I see a whole team of instructors with windbreakers on and jeans with their candy cane belt on top of it, that's a problem. All right. All right. I'm sorry, but why do you need to have your windbreaker with a freaking whatever your don is, whatever belt is you want on top of that? All right. Really? Come on. And I have to say Detroit. Okay, every year I've been up there.
you seen that particular person?
Yeah, the whole team, all the time. Oh my God, it's crazy. I'm like, come on, really? You ain't got nothing else karate on, but you want your belt outside.
You gotta let them know who you are.
That way I know that
that goes into a whole nother realm.
That's a pet peeve of mine, man.
Of people who are a little too attached to their rank.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Man, you're not supposed to wear your belt outside of your workout, man. Hey, that's weird to me.
Yeah, I don't care. That's in your system. I don't.
Right.
I don't,
that means nothing.
Right.
I don't care.
Right. Yeah, when someone else wants me to call them sensei, you're not my sensei. Sorry, I ain't doing that. Yeah. No.
Right. Yeah. No.
Well, I feel funny calling people master. I
have never used the term master.
Yeah, that's a whole nother reason why I don't want to say master. Like,
it's a little deeper.
I'll say mister.
Oh God. Oh my God.
Like you're mister. All right.
Jeff said I didn't know I was gonna be on that episode. God bless America.
Let me step away from this conversation.
Yeah. What the heck?
Safety. I'm gonna push the safety button.
Anyway, where we
out.
Where we
Titles.
Oh, yeah.
Fives.
Yeah, how do we get off the top five?
Because we're karate people and we're crazy.
Well, we kind of talked about the all around. I think all of us had similar.
Yeah,
the four are the same.
Yeah, for the
pretty much. I mean, I'm in and out on Terry's awesome for me. There's some other ones though that sometimes could kind of creep in. I mean, I guess maybe it depends on your preference or whatever. Like I like a Matt Bowles, and
right.
stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Even someone like an EJ Greer to me, I just like watching all of his stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know if he accomplished everything that Terry did, but
it's your top five.
I like
it, and it's personal, and
that's
what it is. Who are your personal top five?
Yeah.
Because
correct.
EJ.
And even honestly, another one is Keith Weston too, because he would continuous fight, point fight, traditional weapons and traditional forms, and Korean. I mean, he would do it all. I mean, and he was, and he could also do traditional kumite as well and whoop people's butt. So
Keith Weston.
He was a beast.
That's right. That's part of the reason why Jason was in there. Jason won the kumite.
Yeah, he did win kumite.
Yeah.
Twice. Yeah. Two, a couple times.
Mm.
Right.
Oh, Germano.
So I mean, I love those people that can do different stuff, man. You got, and not even just the different style. I mean, different styles within our sport, but when they can go to traditional tournaments, a different one, or taekwondo, or things like that. I mean, it's pretty cool. It's a whole nother level.
Cool.
So but I don't know. I know that's I don't know who else tried. I know you talked a couple weeks ago, Travis, about trying the TKD thing. That's a whole nother.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I know Nikki Carlson did it a little bit.
Yep.
I thought I remember hearing that Pedro did it some as well.
Well, they all, yeah. Their whole school, like that's what he does now. Mr. Pena trains Olympic Taekwondo fighters.
Does he?
Right.
Yeah. And then
the top school, one of the top schools that was
somebody do
Arlene Lemus. Arlene Lemus is like one of the top.
Yeah, see,
all
Jeff be on it.
I know.
Jeff is the historian over there.
That's because that's what I was thinking. I was like, man, I know somebody was. I know it wasn't Chevelle or Linda. I think it was Arlene Lemus who was
Arlene, but I think.
You know what? We here.
There was another one. Chevelle, I think, did it as well.
We here now. We didn't. I don't know how we ended up here, but we here.
What?
Top 5 women fighters.
Oh God.
We here. Like we
might as well do it.
Fell in there, so.
Yes. Nikki, Linda, Chevelle, Morgan, and Chelsea.
All right.
Jeff.
Nikki, Linda, Regina, Morgan, Chelsea.
Regina's my wild card in there as well.
Jeff basically said I'm going Linda, Nikki, of course, those 1 and 2.
Yeah.
I am going with Regina is my 3. I am going Morgan is 4. My 5, it's literally between Arlene and Chelsea.
Right.
I'm going to have to go with Arlene. I'm going to Arlene.
For tenure, and then
the fact
competition.
That she had took down Linda, she was rival. Like I can't.
Yeah, no. Absolutely.
I can't deny that. Like that is something that to me is just like, I got to go there. Yeah.
Right.
Once again, pretty similar. And everybody, and then every other one is a wild card for me.
Yeah.
Like,
Chelsea was the wild card because honestly I thought if I'm so disappointed that we didn't get the Chelsea Morgan rivalry for long. Like we got it for like a year, and then it was
9 months.
It was gone.
9 months.
Yeah, it was like
I was expecting that because nobody challenged Chelsea and nobody's really challenging Morgan. So to see that
the one though that
always gets looked over.
She's beaten all of them that we look over,
Claire.
and I think it's because of her style. Is Claire. Claire's beaten all of them. Claire's beaten, except Nikki, but she's beaten all of them, and she had a really good record against Regina.
She had a really good,
Yeah, she gets overlooked.
She does get overlooked.
She gets overlooked, I think, because of her leg and maybe, she's just tall, but no, she knew what she was doing with that.
No, Claire's very good.
Yeah, I think it's more so like the...
And Tara as well. I like Tara Van Dien as well.
Tara.
Sorry.
There's a couple other. Tara Eubanks is good.
Yeah, Tara Eubanks. She was one of the last people that beat Nikki.
Yeah.
It was Tara and Tara.
Yeah.
So like when you mentioned, I think I honestly, why do you think Claire gets overlooked?
Canadian. When you think about it, you try to think about who, like that. Because, even with the exception of Robbie and Robbie being on the U.S. All-Stars for so long, I think a lot of the Canadians kind of get overlooked, unless with the exception of Trevor and Robbie.
I would say more so. I still think Robbie's so big over Europe, so I can't say that he gets overlooked.
It's true
because he goes over to Europe. He's like
Robbie's
a rock star. Yeah,
Robbie's different.
He's different. I was about to say I think Trevor's more the one who doesn't get overlooked. Like Trevor will be, you know what I mean? But
it's Trevor.
Yeah, it is what it is. But I was like I could see Robbie getting overlooked, but it depends on who you're talking to. Like if you, especially if you're overseas, like Robbie, I've seen like Robbie is a rock star over there.
Oh, absolutely.
Like,
right.
But yeah, no, you know what?
Claire,
I don't even know, man.
I don't know why she gets overlooked. Maybe it's because her personality wasn't as big as you can say the other ones were. Like Like, you know what I mean?
Way. Yeah.
I mean, like she's kind of reserved.
She's a sleeper.
Yeah, but
she would
everybody
always
knew
win.
she was gonna win. But I mean, but not always. But I mean, Regina had this air about her that it was like she's dominant. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
and that's what it is. And I think that's what it is. When Claire has wins over everybody, but I don't think Claire dominated for a year, 2 years, to where she always won. She won and she would beat people, but she didn't always win. The ladies that we're mentioning right now, when they walked in the room, it was about a 85 to 90% chance that they were going to win. The exception of when it was like Linda, Arlene, and
I mean, I remember
like
she used to beat Regina all the time.
Yeah.
Like there was that when it was SCS and CJB, she beat her all the time. But the problem is she didn't win the overall grand because guess who was on? Who else was on CJB?
Tara.
Nikki.
Oh, Nikki.
No, Nikki.
Yeah. So it would be like. That would kind of happen. Like she would beat Regina during the day,
and then lose.
And then in
Nikki
the division, and those are your top two, and then all right, you guys get to face Nikki. Have fun, like, So I think that was probably it when she was first coming up. But I mean, I think she beat Chelsea several times, but she would just show up. She wasn't
consistently out.
Yeah, consistent. Yeah.
Right. So I think that's that's why
yeah.
she would be overlooked.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's interesting. And she's
Claire's got a lot of wins.
Yeah,
Claire got a lot of wins.
Yeah, she does. So she gets overlooked a lot, and it's just kind of like, all right, well, but that goes into just consistency because the people we name were just consistent. Like all of them.
Like Regina
Everyone.
just hasn't quit.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think maybe some of his style too. Like, I mean, I think people can relate to maybe Regina's style more because they can see that, hey, that can be, anybody can do that. Like I can find a way to do that,
Yeah, but everybody can't be like Nikki.
No.
No.
It's like, nobody's forgetting Nikki. Like, yo,
that's like Linda and Nikki. Like,
like those two.
Like when you said Arlene, I said Shavella. Like, you know what I mean? It's just the styles and like I like like that's
no. And when I mean like not everybody. No, what I'm saying is that like Regina doesn't have to do like a bunch to beat you, like she's just super smart. She's one of my favorite fighters to watch.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, but like when you compare her, I'm just comparing her and Claire. Like Claire, when from someone that maybe doesn't know better, it's just she's got a long leg and and so they don't maybe appreciate her style as much as they would Regina. Where maybe she's going against taller women all the time and beating them and stuff. So, but I don't know. I do think sometimes the tall kickers and stuff kind of get that stigma, but I don't know. that they just win because of their height or whatnot.
Or the leg or just because
legs or whatever, like
we've said it before by a couple of people, but I mean, some of it's true and some of it's, they kicked you.
Yeah.
Hey, kicked you, fool.
Yeah. Interesting topic.
But,
all right.
Well, I was gonna say you were lost in thought for a second there, Trav.
I always try and break everything down. So I was just trying to think of what he was saying as far as her Claire's style, and I was trying to think of like her style of how she fought, how she was doing, how she competed.
Trying to remember.
Yeah. So I remember the leg.
Watching fights in your head.
In my head about how she fought, and then comparing that to Regina. And I just think Regina's personality is just so. She knows everybody, so personable, and then when she wins, people are cheering for her. Similar to what Morgan is now. I look at Morgan as how she is gotten to this point where she's gotten to a rock star status, like where people are just you're my hero, you're my idol, you're like, you know what I mean? Like, and that's when you get to that level.
And Gina Thornton has that same, I think, personality as well too, and so people kind of, I mean, Morgan is Morgan, but I'm just saying like that kind of personality where people can relate to them.
You're warm, you're magnetic,
yeah.
Right. So.
Any other thoughts or topics that we got going? Do we know any?
That was fun.
Yeah,
that was kind of like.
I mean, it came there.
We got a rapid fire. It was pretty easy.
Yeah. He's like, all right.
We pretty much named the same 4, and then there were a couple of ones that were around in different orders.
Right.
Right.
It was the one.
Yeah, pretty basic on that, but I mean, yeah, it's still fun to do that. You can't. I mean,
no, I'm definitely interested to hear your single favorite whatever weapon competitor. That's an interest. I'm gonna have to go home and
favorite.
Like who do you think was the best at sword? Who do you think was the best at combat? We were talking about earlier. Like that to me. Like I'm gonna have to go back and really think, because like now like Jeff and I'll have to go back to, all right. So bow, you got traditional bow, and then you got open bow.
Bernardo.
Yeah. Then you got, there's so many different other, but yeah.
And the other thing too, man, we all tend to like go back more, like.
Yeah. Because some of these dudes are dope though. Nowadays, the things these kids are doing nowadays, man. But there's no way.
That's called evolution, man.
Well,
the younger crew is gonna be looking at what they did and be doing it at a younger age, what you're doing as in your prime, and then next thing you know, they got, all right, well, how can I up this ante? And you just end up going crazy.
And the ones that do excel and actually win are the ones that do take that old school and put it into their new school.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, they blend.
You know what I'm saying? Like ones that actually study and everything. That's why like I could have the same conversation with Jackson Rudolph for 2 hours. I've had it with him for 2 hours. Yep. You know what I mean? And he really studies and understands this or that.
Yes, I know who Jackson Rudolph is.
Well, yeah,
Didn't he just win the U.S. Open?
Yeah,
Thank you.
But I mean, and that's funny in the way like Jackson's that lineage, how it all connects,
right?
Okay,
to Bernardo.
Right. Where's Jackson's in Kentucky, and the Presleys are in Tennessee, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to clear.
Are you just clearing up?
Yeah, because I was like, wait, I know they're. Like, yeah, okay, all right.
Okay. Just making sure. All right.
Yes, just making sure, because I had an idea about doing something with Tennessee versus Kentucky.
Oh Lord.
Is there enough? I mean,
see,
forms wise, it would be.
See, when I was growing up, that was the rivalry. We would go to all those tournaments, and it was insane over there. But I don't know what it's like now.
Well, see, that's the interesting part. Like, all right, I don't know if I don't know if we have enough time to go into all of this, but how do y'all feel about people who competed not having their students compete?
Because there's usually two trains of thoughts there. Usually they were scorned by that, or they don't want to lose the business from the competitive side. I mean, those are typically the two reasons why people don't do that.
Yeah.
I do think.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was
mean,
saying,
not even locally.
or they got burned out, but they really did it for a while with like 5 to 6 years, and it didn't work out for them and hurt their school. I've seen that happen before.
Yeah.
Because they were so into it that,
they push that mentality on their kids, and then in that culture, in that area where they decided to set up, that's not really what they want to do. They're a baseball place, and so they just kind of do this for some discipline and fun. They're not really trying to compete. Their competitive side is you saw a lot of Kentucky kids and Texas kids football. You got a lot of Florida kids football, baseball.
Yeah, but let me ask you this. Let me ask both of you this. Would you still have been in martial arts if you didn't compete?
I wouldn't. No, no. I know I wouldn't.
Yeah, I know I wouldn't.
I would have got my black belt, and I probably would have been. It might have been a check off. It probably would have been, if I didn't have something bigger than what was right in front of me.
Right in front of me, yeah.
That's kind of what it comes down to. But I think that's why studios and schools and stuff like that who have an organization, who have a big group, they can tend to keep them a little bit better, because you have big camps, you have big gradings and big testings. You make it bigger than just your one school. So I think that part of it lends itself for success on that. But those of us as I grew up until later on, after I got my black belt, where we joined an association, we changed our style and we adapted into something else. No. I would have probably just, if I didn't compete. But I started competing as an underbelt, so like I knew nothing other than karate and competition karate.
Right.
My traditional class karate, which was traditional.
I didn't have a karate school from 15 till I opened my own.
Really?
So, yeah, I mean, I was just competing and doing it on my own, and had my little private school in my house, teaching private lessons and training and traveling every weekend or every other weekend, and that was what I did.
When did you open at your school?
2008. So I was 24, 25.
Dang.
Yeah, so
that's a good little time chunk.
A good 10 years, I didn't have that. I would train with private lessons with people at tournaments sometimes or whatever, and then the rest after that. Once John Valera moved to California and he retired, I didn't have a really instructor anymore. Well, not true. My traditional instructor was from North Carolina, but after that, it was, still, it wasn't like I was in a school after that,
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, for me, competing is definitely what kept me in.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Like
yeah, right.
Yeah, well, yeah, competing definitely was what kept me in. I mean, I'm not even gonna lie about it, because like, yeah, I know it's my family and everything, but like my brother was in it and he stopped competing and he wasn't in it. Like he's just not getting back and he's teaching now, but it's just kind of like, man, yeah, like yeah, for me, I like now and right now, I like me not competing. Like if you hadn't seen me when I wasn't competing, you guys didn't see me. Like, I wasn't around. It was like, wait, what? What's going on? I'm like running, I'm doing all other kind of stuff. But now, and then, when I came back, it was kind of like, all right, I'm back around for a little bit, got the itch, and now actually I'm looking like, all right, let me figure out how I'm gonna start teaching or whatever the case may be, and turn this thing around. But so it's that's why I was interested in asking you guys that, because for me, I'm like,
it's kind of funny,
like them in particular probably are teaching because we're still in martial arts because of they were competing, and now that they're not having, and I get the monetary reasons. I get some of the people don't want to do it, but I've always looked at competition as a way to grow and better yourself. Like, if you, I tell people all the time, if you can control yourself and control your manners and control and think clearly, and when somebody is punching and kicking at you, just because you got a deadline that your boss wants,
how much easier is it going to be when nobody's punching and slapping you and yelling at you, correcting your stance, and you know what I mean? Yeah,
like you can handle just pretty much. Just don't. I do have a thing where you can't move your hands close to me. Like if your hand is like you start doing that, I start flinching like hey. So when women be talking and they start moving, I'm like, hey, put your hand down. You can't talk to me like
students
that.
be flinching. I be like, why you think I'm gonna hit you? We're in karate class. Oh, all right.
It's like,
wow,
you can't do that to me. But no, So I always find it interesting that when people don't have their students, I'm not gonna say any names, but
there's quite a few. There's quite a few greats that have huge schools that don't compete.
Yeah, and then some of them come out, and then like,
they'll come out.
They'll come out and be like, oh no, we're not. That's a whole other story.
But that's and I mean, some of that why.
Yeah,
I mean, because think about what didn't we just have two big tournaments this last weekend as well? The Norris Cup, the Chuck Norris Cup.
Oh yeah.
And then it wasn't the ATA World Championships too. Those are big events. Like,
I'm sure they are, but
I didn't know anything about. I remembered seeing something about the Norris Cup because Jackson just won it, or somebody just won it.
Yeah, Jackson won it, and then was it Chartouni? I can't remember his name. Used to be on Gypsy. One of those guys won the fighting one.
Oh yeah, I don't even know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I watch it. I know a lot of. It's weird. I know a lot more people that are there now.
Yeah,
than it used to be.
Yeah. Norris got a huge organization in
it didn't used to be like that.
Yeah, I know he does. Like Jason Holmes, like
J Dog is
Well, that's Kickstart. That's different. That's
okay. I thought it was.
Isn't Kickstart one of his things though?
That's Chuck Norris's thing that he has in the school system. So what they do for middle school and high school, they can take martial arts as an elective, or instead of PE. So a lot of those guys. I mean, Ramel, I think still does that. Bear did that for a long time. Jason does. Dane does. I think Hakeem was doing that when he was living there. A lot of those guys. So that's kind of what I'm trying to get set up, but with the elementary thing, in my area.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I've been trying to do that for a little while, man. My schools won't let me go in there. They won't even let me do like PE teacher for the day joint. Like, nah, they don't let that. They don't let nobody in your school. I'm like, come on, man. I do it for I ain't trying to do it for no reason. I'll even wear your PE t-shirt. Just let me come in there and get the nope. All right. I'm trying to be like Jeff over here now.
Hey.
Write letters and petitions and grants and get signatures and stuff. Is that what you did? Let me know. We're going to have a separate call.
Yeah, we got to have a separate call on that, the business-wise.
Uh-oh.
Anyway, we up against time now.
Yep.
Jeff, thanks for calling in.
Absolutely.
No
Thank you
problem,
for
man.
picking
Thanks
up.
for calling me.
Absolutely.
I had fun.
It's been a lot of fun. I can't wait to people hear this podcast.
Really be funny.
Yes. There's some funny parts about this, some interesting parts, some introspective parts.
Oh, Lord.
All kind of stuff that was happening, man.
He said all the time. I'm still laughing.
All the time, bro.
All the time. I'm prepared.
Yes.
You're not finna kick me, lady.
No, not at all.
Everybody just keep your cups on, all right?
Exactly.
Stay protected, my friends.
Keep your cup on. Stay protected.
And put your mouthpiece in your back pocket, all right?
You could be like a jiu-jitsu guy. Me, like put it in your ear.
Oh.
Yeah.
What happened, man? Hey, listen. I left a workout one time and went to go eat, and I still have my mouthpiece on my ear because I never even realized it was there. That's how crazy it is. Listen,
all right.
I had a lady ask me, she was like, "What is that?"
I was like, "Oh, it's my mouthpiece."
That's filthy. I'm sorry. I gotta go wash my ear. I feel disgusting. I gotta go home now.
That is disgusting.
But it's happened.
I know she was looking at you like,
what is wrong with this dude? Like, I just forgot. Like,
man, she thought you were playing football.
I got cauliflower ear, so I don't really feel it all the time. So like, it's not bad. It's not really bad.
It's not yet. It's going to happen.
Man, why you put that juju out there, man? It's not that bad.
It's not going to happen. Like, you better wear.
My wife said. My wife said it better not.
You better have them headgear like Scott Steiner.
Rick Steiner wore the headgear.
Was it Rick?
Yes.
Yeah,
it was.
The one who barked. The one Scotty.
Yeah, you're right.
Come on, bro.
You're right.
Listen.
Wait, I think both of them wore it when they first started.
No, they wore the singlets, but only Rick wore the headgear. Let's not listen. Let's not go there with the professional wrestling.
Don't do that.
Listen, that's a whole episode right there. Because me and I'm like Jeff said, he on that professional wrestling tip up until.
What is it with karate folk and
it should show.
Like we love that.
Yeah. Well, I love.
Well, dude, we'd have to get your uncle in here too.
Oh yeah. We can do that one.
Him and I, like, that's what we'll talk about now.
Bro, like, I got.
Now, do you still keep up with it, Jeff?
What was that?
Do you still watch it?
Oh yeah. I watch. I don't watch WWE, but yeah.
All right. Okay. So I'm with you on the smaller, the Japanese pro wrestling.
No, that is the new one.
Yeah. I'm on New Japan and more of the AEW stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So
we're on.
Everybody got away from.
Everybody got away. Man, that joint is terrible now. Well, I haven't watched it since like Stone Cold retired, bro.
Oh yeah, you've been gone for a while.
I've been gone on WWE. I couldn't do it. I had a hard time when they changed it from the WWF. That broke my heart. Like, wait, what happened? Attitude Era, man. Like World Wildlife Federation. That's what happened.
That's what took it.
I had real quick, because he's probably my favorite wrestling personality, second favorite wrestler. I had a woman at my karate school who was Ric Flair's personal assistant for like 14 years. Brought me like a bunch of autograph pictures and stuff like that. I geeked out the other day, like, bro. And it was her thank you gift because they were moving back to
North Carolina?
Somewhere in North Carolina. Not too close to you, because otherwise I would already suggested students for you. They're not close to you. But So moving back over to North Carolina. But I was like, what? She was like, yeah, this is pictures.
Send them to the dude who wears cup odds, huh?
Woo! Come on, man. You better stop it.
Oh, man. All right, so
on that note, protect yourself.
Protect yourself at all times.
There you go.
This guy's a cornball.
Even when you're on a date. All right. I wonder if this works. Is it gonna work? Yes, it still works.
It still works. It still plays.
Yeah, it's still playing. Can you hear it?
It's stupid.
Huh?
Exactly. No, you can't hear it.
No, Jeff, don't listen to this man. The remix to the remix to the remix.
Yeah. Old Town Road, baby. We out. Talk to you.
I'll talk to you later, man.
Talk to y'all next week, people. Peace.